Faith versus knowing is the topic for today. And we picked this beautiful image here of this girl who is removing the blindfold of blind faith, of her thoughts not her own, being programmed, right? And she holds the scales. So in other words, not the scale of judgment, but it's a self-judgment, right? The scales represent your heart. Is it weigh as light as a feather? It's pretty interesting that at the weighing of the heart ceremony, there is an alligator, and there's alligators just outside our door about 50 feet away in some water. So it's very fitting. So do you think for yourself? And are your thoughts your own? That's what this whole group was about, is so that we can present things in a way that people can think for themselves and make a decision based on what's been put in front of them. I do a lot of thinking of my own now than I ever have, as well as you all. And when we're given questions, that is you thinking for yourself. Now, the answers you give and where do we go find them? It's the same place where everybody gets them. It's called the Akashic Record. It's memories in the waters. So our thoughts are own. They can be. They definitely can be. But a lot of the thoughts are even there that were left behind by whomever that we can go and tap into. So that's the beauty part of it. And when you connect yourself with that knowing that we are made of pure love, then you can tune into it, because this body that we have is a transceiver of love. So not only can we tune into that pure love and get the manifestations that we want immediately, like Deborah said, that's 100% possible. We're going to move on to what's happening in the sky. One thing is for sure that's happening in the sky, and this is not trying to make you have or share these thoughts. It's just showing you a reality of what's manifesting in the sky that we can jump into. We know we've talked about that, and that's Revelation 12:1, which on March the 16th, which is today, the North Node, the head of the snake, your conscience mind, the one that thinks for itself, is now moving into Aries. The South and North Node move backwards compared to all the wandering stars or planets, they call them. This is a Taurus, and now moving into Aries, which is your head. This image here is the Ouroboros, the snake eating its tail. This is very much representative of not having your own thoughts, not trying to get a knowing of who you are, a knowing of where we're going, a knowing of this journey that we're on, to really know instead of just having a blind faith in somebody, some man sitting in a cloud and that's it, and I'll just go on about my day. This is setting up for next year, because by next year, this will be over here next to the Phoenix rising. So that's happening today. People are feeling something different within their minds, things popping in or coming out. Those are all thoughts that are in the waters. Thoughts that we have to make sure that we keep only the good ones, repaint the not good ones, and be as loving as much as possible. And then on March the 29th, Mary, Isis, Madonna, whatever you want to call her, she is coming once again into Aries, our head. This is bringing pure love into your head. This is what creates the Armageddon between this conscious mind, the one that hasn't been thinking for itself, and it's full of thoughts that aren't love. Because your own thoughts should be those of pure love. That's when you know those thoughts are your own. So if you can generate pure love thoughts, pure images, erase the old ones with pure love, those thoughts are your own. And now you're following the wake. You're jumping into the wake of one love. This is the story of Santa Claus coming down the chimney. I'm going to just move this out of the way, but Mary, Isis, Madonna, we recall, she's been traveling in and out of your head, staying longer and longer. I know you've heard me say this before, longer and longer every year. So you can see that on these pink ones here is when she came into Aries. All right, so March 29th, she comes in. one more time, and then again, and then the Phoenix rising on, April 15th, 2023, when that alignment happens, Revelation 12:1. And then 2024 is when she's there to stay permanently. She's the 1 year where she comes back, there's only 40 days. She goes back into Pisces, just doing some cleanup of your thoughts. And are they loving? So this is a story of Santa Claus coming down the chimney, because Aries represents your head. So she's been going from Pisces, which is the feet. Okay, I'm going to turn this sideways now so it lines up with the stars. All right. So Pisces means the feet and Aries means the head. She's been cycling in and out, and this is your pole shift, moving from Pisces into Aries. You don't have to get hung up on the astrology portion of it, but it really is just the physics of the energies of pure love that are coming in. Yes, it's an actual physics. We are made of light. So when you understand what's happening in the sky with the light, you understand who you are. We can open up for questions later if anybody's got any. This is what's happening. She's come in one more time to get us prepared for the Phoenix, personal Phoenix rising that we're each going through, to have our own thoughts, the thoughts of our own. And again, you know they're yours when they're made of love, because that's who you are. You're a light being made of pure love. And those images, thoughts that you have that aren't made of those are not yours. Those aren't yours. So people that have those thoughts, you can comfort them. Those aren't yours. Those are in the muddy waters, because only the good ones made of love are really yours. We're jumping over into the Bible. We're just going to look at a few things. It's not a whole lot to look at today. But the word know in the Bible versus faith. The word know, the King James Version, is there almost 1,300 times, whereas faith is there 336. In the Common English Bible, the word know is there almost 1,500 times, and faith is there 700 times. Know is a knowing. If you learn the physics and the metaphysics, you'll know. If you can build something up from the premise of love, then that's a knowing. Faith means you don't know. Faith means it's a blind faith. I have faith in somebody else. That's not the right way to do it. God bless if it can be. Knowing versus faith. The word now is in the word know. Be in the now. Just a couple little Bible verses from the book of Hebrews, section 2, verses 11 and 12, 2 covenants. And each person won't ever teach a neighbor or their brother or sister, saying, no, because they will all know, from the least important of them to the most important, because there will be a leniency toward their unjust actions and won't remember their sins anymore. So you can see how teaching people that programmed, we're going to tell you what to think, even in the Bible says, goes away, because everybody will know. That's the revelation that's upon us. We're blessed that we're able to think about this before it happens, while others are not there yet. But somehow, miraculously, they all get to go there. They all get to be there. Our karmic sins get washed away. So that love, that really strong magnet in the sky, is going to wipe away, just like Alzheimer's, all the not good thoughts. So if you have nothing but loving thoughts in your head, it's fantastic. So the age of Aquarius is the baptismal waters cleansing our karma. And that's what they're teaching about in the Bible. The real meanings when you read between the lines. Book of Luke, who will be saved? This is one of the biggest topics that I know is out there. Because if those that are thinking that if we're going through this revelation, if we're going through this Phoenix rising, even though they don't understand, I've not seen anybody talk about that it's happening in the sky. People just have a knowing of it, which is fantastic. They don't need to know astrology for it. Who will be saved? Jesus traveled through the cities and villages, teaching and making his way to Jerusalem. Someone said to him, Lord, Will only a few be saved? Make every effort to enter through the narrow gate. Many, I tell you, will try to enter and won't be able to. Basically, when you read between the lines here, it's saying if you're not loving, you can't jump into the ship. It's the two magnets, the love magnet versus the lack of love magnet. They repel. You'll bounce off the wake. But everybody is infinite. So everybody says, well, what up? Is everybody else just perish? They all pass? No, I don't think so. And even if they did, we're all infinite. We just come back. We come back with a wiped out of all those thoughts and the way we go. But see, it's a knowing for me that doesn't happen, because we are loved. And the age of Aquarius is about that cleanse of the thoughts that aren't our own. It's a cleanse of bringing us to that one love, staying together, harmony, peace. And remember, after Revelation comes Genesis. And Genesis means Mother Nature takes over the lands and man takes a back seat. So that's going to be an interesting one to play out. Of all the things that we spoke about, these are all the titles of all the ones we did. For those of you who've been with us for both sessions and in between sessions, because we keep going whether Unity's started their series or not. So these are all the topics that we've covered. All the topics where you can think for yourself, where you can extract what you need here to better yourself, to think more in terms of love. So I just thought I'd throw these as reminders for anybody if they wanted to see them. And the biggest reminder is that this is actually happening in the sky. Think for yourself. What does this mean to you? What are your own thoughts about your own personal phoenix rising? This is in the Bible, Revelation 12:1. Now a great sign appeared in the heaven, a woman clothed with the sun with the moon at her feet. So you can see that this here is the North Node that's just made its way into Aries and will make it all the way till April 15th, 2023, and to be here for this revelation of the mother with the sun, with the moon at her feet, because that's the North Node of the moon. This makes it the fifth sun, which means age of Aquarius. This happens every 558 years. Do yourself a favor, go grab an app, prove to yourself that this is happening. Think for yourself, don't trust me. Go read it in a book, go grab an app. That's one of the assignments that's in the book, to go do it for yourself, prove to yourself, and then say, well, what does this mean to me? And we're hoping that with all the meetings we've had for the last 20, 30 weeks, that you're able to think for yourself and what it means to you. But simply put, this Phoenix rising cleanses us so that we can become more and more pure love.